What is up, guys? Welcome back. So today I want to talk about why anxiety will probably be one of the hardest things you've ever had to overcome. And I don't say this to scare you or discourage you. I just want you guys to know I understand the struggle. I understand how difficult it is to beat it. I know a lot of things that I talk about are easier said than done, and it's the truth. It's the truth. Any tip that you hear to help you with anxiety is an easier said than done thing. I mean, there are some simple things like stay hydrated, go for a walk or something like that. But I mean, when you get down to like letting go of control, trying to figure out the best time when to stop going to the doctors every day, because that always feels like we're risking our life, right? Trying to challenge symptoms and to embrace them, to let them be there instead of trying to tell them to go away. Trying not to avoid things, making sure that you stick with a routine and stick with an exposure program. Guys, that's all easier said than done. When you feel tortured and you feel these symptoms hitting you from every angle all freaking day, some of you are not getting breaks, it's easier said than done. And I think that that's one of the deals with anxiety, or at least one of the hardest things to deal with, is that we have to do the right things while we suffer. There is suffering in recovery. If you think about it, there's suffering in bettering yourself in any type of way. But to get past anxiety, there is a lot of suffering. It's not like I'm going through suffering to be a bodybuilder, so I got to eat a certain way and everything. I mean, there's suffering that goes, tearing down and building up your muscles, your supplements and what you're eating, all this stuff, right? Getting ready for a show, there's suffering of that. Okay, now imagine all the times outside of all those things you're still being bombarded with symptoms. They talk about delayed gratification, delayed rewards. This is one of those deals with anxiety. So anxiety is very difficult to get past because you have to do all the right stuff. At least try your hardest, right, to do the right stuff. You don't have to be perfect, and you're not going to be perfect in the beginning. Try to get a routine together to start your day. Sorry, my voice is raspy. I'm overcoming a cold, and I've been out here mowing. But yeah, trying to get a routine together as best as you can, and trying to do your exposure and get into the rhythm of things while you still have symptoms. And I want you to think about it like this. Our subconscious is roughly like 95% of us, apparently. It could be, there's some studies that say like 97% or something, but that's a lot of us, right? So imagine you've been stuck in this loop or cycle of fear and anxiety for months. Some of you have been in it for years. And that amount of your subconscious, or your subconscious, which is that amount, is programmed to fear, to tell you to not drive, to not travel, to make your throat close up when you're trying to eat food, to tell you that sleep is going to be horrible tonight. When it's wired and programmed to that, you're trying to make change with just a few percentage points every single day. So your conscious intentions, when you're getting this routine together, when you're going out there and you're doing your exposure, at best, that's like 5%. So we have to change 95. We're going to go with 95%. We're going to try to change 95% of us with 5%. Now, if you can be really consistent and if you can understand that and you don't skip out on days and you try to do everything good, you can make a lot of headway within a month or two. You can. Some of you really can. But it's very hard not only to understand that, especially in the beginning, or especially if you don't see videos like mine, or whenever your anxiety is just so bad that, you feel like you can't get through your exposure. So a lot of us, we're not able to maximize the 5% of conscious intention. You see what I'm saying? We're not able to maximize that. So even though we have 5%, we're operating from a conscious intention or mindset, we're not using all of that, you know what I mean? Most of the time. So you could say that we could be trying to get 0.5% better every single day. You see what I'm saying? Maybe 1% better every single day. That's going to take a long time. But that's to be expected with a lot of things. But with anxiety and you're being bombarded with these symptoms, it's just so hard to be consistent. It's so hard to be consistent. So consistency really is key with this. If we want to change the subconscious, which is 95% of us, we have to do our best with the 5% we're working with every single day. So that's why it's important to respond to your symptoms appropriately, know when to not have to respond, to let things flow through you, to try to stick with a good exposure plan, and try to be progressive with it and to get a little bit better at it each day. That's why it's important not to avoid opportunities to let these symptoms come in, to then respond accordingly. This is why it's important to stick with a stress preventative lifestyle, because at the same time as us doing this exposure and all that, we want a system in place that's going to be there to help us flourish after we get to recovery. Or say we get to 75, 80%. This stress preventative lifestyle keeps stress from getting so high that it manifests into anxiety, which then manifests into physical symptoms. You see what I'm saying? So I think that that's one of the biggest reasons why anxiety is hard to overcome, because we are trying to change 95% of us with 5%, and most of the time we're not maxing out that 5%. And I've never really worded it like that on this channel before. I'm glad that just kind of came to me today. Like, I've always known the 5% conscious, 95% subconscious, but I never thought about we're not maximizing the 5%. Probably we're not getting anywhere near that, especially in the beginning when we're dealing with this. So yeah, that's why it takes a while. So you have to be patient, you have to be consistent, you have to show up every day, you have to believe, and that's another thing, you have to have belief that you're gonna get past this. If you don't believe and you doubt yourself, that's why you're not moving forward. If you doubt or don't believe in the routine or your mindfulness or your exposure and all this stuff, it's not gonna be that effective. I mean, you white knuckling it and get through it, is that better than not doing it? Yeah, of course. You're gonna see a little bit, maybe, yeah. But you're not going to maximize the tools that are being given to you by other people or things that you've read through books or courses or coaching, counseling, therapy, all that stuff. So yeah, it takes a while for the subconscious to catch up with the conscious intention. It takes time. It's waiting to see if you're going to be consistent. So then it's like, okay, I'll stop with the chest pains. I'll stop with all this. So I think that was one of the biggest things. And for me personally, like with the health anxiety part of this for me, that was another thing that was really hard. I didn't just have symptoms that were annoying and frustrating. When I had symptoms, I had a problem of assuming that they were some type of a disease. So whenever you're dealing with that component, it makes anxiety even harder. I think health anxiety is just one of the most horrible things you can go through. Because if you think the symptoms are killing you, they're that much more scary. They're that much scarier. So I think one of the biggest struggles that I had with this was I don't want to have to keep going back to the doctor. I don't want to keep dealing with this, But occasionally you'll run across a story, guys, and I know you've seen them. I know you've seen the stories or the comments, or I know some of you guys have been on Reddit or Facebook groups and are like, I thought it was anxiety too. I thought it was anxiety too for 2 years and found out that I had a little issue with my heart, or found out that it was thyroid issues or vitamin deficiencies or this and that, And those comments are so triggering when we see them and they're like, see, that's why I don't stop. This is why I don't, So I think trying to figure out when to let go of control and to stop seeing the doctors on and to stop seeking tons of opinions, that's the hardest thing. And I cannot tell you when to do that. I think it's one of those understood things that eventually you're gonna have to figure out a balance or figure out when to let go of that. And that's the best I can do to help you with that, because I'm not looking at your numbers. I'm not your doctor. I'm not in your body. I'm sure I'm feeling and have felt a lot of the things that you felt before, but I can't tell you when to stop. I feel like that would be a little reckless from me. You know what I mean? You have to decide that part. Nobody can do that for you. Nobody can tell you when to stop. You know what I mean? And you have to almost be okay when it comes to the health anxiety thing, that there's this tiny, tiny, tiny statistical chance that you might have been misdiagnosed, and when you're willing to let go of control over that and to still just move on to accept it's, this is anxiety, I'm going to believe in it 100%, I'm going to move on. I feel like I've done what I can do. That's up to you. That time is up to you. And that's why this thing is complex. That's why recovery is gray. That could take months for you to get to that position, and sometimes you can't get in there and get the opinions that you want real fast, right? To try to get some closure and move on. So you're kind of in a limbo, right? You're trying to stick with routine and exposure, but what if there is something, you know what I mean? So that's why it's hard. And then whenever you do exercise and things like that, like I would always stop, I didn't want to push it, and that was with everything. Like today, I was out here mowing whenever I was thinking about this video, and I was like, man, there was a time this would have been impossible. Not impossible, I don't like to say that, but I would have just chickened out. I'm out here sweating, juicy, looking like a rotisserie chicken out here. The heat index is crazy here in East Texas right now. It always is this time of the year. You know, it's already in the 90s already, headed for 100 today. My heart rate's up and everything like that, which is fine. But back then, it would have freaked me out. Would have had a panic attack. I wouldn't have trusted my heart. So something like this, I would have felt would have been just a huge risk, right? I'm risking my life. And the sad part about it is, like, you're probably not. You know what I mean? But you feel that way. Like, you feel like if I go ahead and do this workout, or if I go harder than what I've been going harder, like, I feel like there's a decent chance, or even a 10% chance, which is scary, like that I might have a heart attack or my heart won't be able to handle it. And again, that is a personal hurdle you have to get through. You know, that's something that you have to decide on your own time. But I just wanted you guys to know that was why it was really hard for me. You know, it's another reason. I mean, there's tons of other reasons why it's difficult. You know, I can go through all the individual symptoms. I got tons of videos on those that you can look at. But also feeling like you're fighting this alone is another thing. It's really difficult because a lot of people just don't understand you and won't understand you. If they haven't gone through this, you know what I mean? Like, they're not going to know what it's like, you know? You can explain it the best way that you can and try to get, you know, the people that love you, hopefully to give you a little bit more compassion or patience or whatever, but they're not going to fully know the horror of what this feels like unless they actually feel it themselves. So the fact that we feel alone a lot of the times, but there's a lot of other things, guys, like not being able to go and enjoy things, taking away the joys and the passions, our relationships, the depression that can come with it. You know, that's something I don't talk a whole lot about, but the feelings of depression I would get. Never had true depression, so I want you to think about that, guys. If somebody took away the symptoms, you probably wouldn't be depressed, right? So I think it's more like grieving. You know, I'm grieving over the fact that I have anxiety and these symptoms. You take them away, I don't feel the symptoms of depression, you know what I mean? But depression symptoms can come with that. But that's why it's hard, guys, but you gotta be patient and stick in there. So take everything that I tell you in these videos seriously and just keep holding on to hope and being consistent. It will get better, I promise. I promise, okay? But please, if you watch this far in the video, please go down below and in all caps, I want you to put consistency is the key. Consistency is the key. And if you want more help with being consistent with I talked about a routine. If you want to learn more about how the subconscious-conscious relationship works, if you want to know the ins and outs of what I did to recover from anxiety disorder, health anxiety, panic attacks, generalized anxiety disorder, my course Elite Anxiety Bootcamp is down below. I'm going to read you a testimonial real quick. Happy Saturday, y'all. I'm spending part of my day today watching Trey's Elite Anxiety Bootcamp. These courses have already explained so much and have helped even more. I'm not a big reader, so the fact that it has a lot of audio really helps me focus. Let's kick anxiety right in the butt. So be sure to check that out. Lifetime access is just a one-time little purchase. I made it affordable on purpose. I wanted you guys to be able to take advantage of that, and I didn't want that to be a huge barrier for a lot of you guys. But check that out, and guys, until next time, keep fighting. I love you all.